Hi, let's talk about the kidney. Let's start with the structure in this video, then we're going to talk about the functions, the major functions of the kidney. So let's get some background knowledge about the kidney. We're talking about human kidneys here. So the kidneys, they originate from the germ layer. It's called mesoderm. So it's originating from in the fetus mesoderm layer, and then it differentiating and multiplying and then getting to its actual structure. So that's the origin. Okay, and then let's talk about the size, normal size, approximately normal size of the kidneys. And so we have, normal human being, we have two kidneys in our lower abdominal region and located on each side, and they're about approximately 5 inches 5 inches long. Okay, and about 3 inches like wide. Okay, and about 1 inch thick. Okay, and they're bean shaped, like it's shown in the picture. They're bean shaped. Okay, so that's the normal structure of the kidneys. There I have shown it's a left kidney, and this is located in the lower abdomen, like I said, and a little bit above the right kidney. So that's the size we talked about. Okay, now let's talk about the structure. Okay, so the kidney, you can see I've drawn the picture here. So this is our kidney. Okay, and then let's talk about the internal structure. So kidney consists of mainly of nephron. And what is a nephron? Nephron is the structural and functional unit of our excretory system of kidney. So a nephron is the structural and functional unit of kidney. It's a microscopic structure. So I have enlarged a nephron. From here you see this square, and here I'm going to talk about it. But just let's see what all are here. So this is also like a nephron, the enlarged view. I just wanted to show where it is located in the kidney. So that's why I drew this structure and enlarged it. So in one kidney approximately there are 1 million nephrons, and which takes part in urine formation. Okay, so the kidney, from the kidney, basically the kidney has, they're divided into three parts. Okay, it's cortex, medulla, and renal pelvis. Okay, and cortex is the outer or superficial layer or superficial structure. Okay, and medulla is deep seated, is deeper. And renal pelvis, what the function is basically it collects the urine. First it collects the urine and then sends it to the ureter. So the kidney, these are the major structure. Okay, as we can see here, so you see the kidney and then it's light yellowish color. That's the cortex. Okay, and then there are some red and blue color. That's the blood vessels. Okay, those are the blood vessels, and we'll talk in details about it in later videos. So those are blood vessels, and this orangish color area, that's the medulla. Okay, and renal pelvis is the straight striped lines. That's the pelvis, renal pelvis, not the actual pelvis. Sorry, it's PEL. It's renal, yeah, pelvis. That's right. It's renal pelvis. Renal means kidney, so that's why it's called the pelvis of the kidney. And these are the major arteries. This is the renal artery. The red one and the blue one is the renal vein. I don't have enough room to write it. But anyways, that's the renal vein. So the blood enters through renal artery and then it goes to there are many branches, and after that it goes to the arteriole, and then the stuff which is not filtered, it comes out from efferent arteriole, and then uh, it goes towards another capillary network, which could be either peritubular or vasa recta, depending on the position of the nephron where it is located in the kidney. And then it goes to the venous circulation and reaches renal vein, and from renal vein it goes ultimately to the finally to the inferior vena cava, back into the circulation. Okay, so that's just like a general uh, overview of the uh, passage of the blood, how it's filtering and exiting kidney and back to the circulation. Okay, now let's talk about the nephron a little bit. So this is the structure of the nephron, which there are like 1 million in the kidney, and I've drawn just one of it. I tried my best to draw it. It's okay. It's easy to understand. So this red thing that you're seeing that's the arteriole. Arteriole is when the artery branches into smaller diameter vessels. It's very thin, and then it's called arteriole. So it is entering. It's taking the blood, and it's entering the glomerulus, the Bowman's capsule. So the renal artery goes to the first capillary network or tuft of capillaries. Okay, tuft of capillaries, that's called glomerulus. Okay, that is glomerulus. And from glomerulus, the blood is filtered, and the stuff that is not filtered, it carried by efferent. That's the efferent arteriole. Okay, and then when the blood comes to this is the Bowman's capsule, which is holding the glomerulus. Okay, and then this is the proximal convoluted tubule. I'm putting in short, I don't have the room to write. It's called proximal convoluted tubule. Tubule means small tube, and convoluted because it is it is little. It's not straight. It's kind of curved, and proximal because it's close to the glomerulus. Okay, and then you can see there's a hairpin structure that's going down. This is the loop of Henle. I'm putting in short. And this loop of Henle has two parts. The first one is descending, and descending limb, and the one that is going up, it's the ascending limb. Okay. Then it is going, I have shown in the arrow how the filtrate is going towards. This is the distal convoluted tubule is right here, and then it's going to the collecting duct. This is the collecting duct, put in short CD, and then from collecting duct it goes to the ureter. So this is the ureter, which is carrying the urine from the renal pelvis and going to the bladder. This is the urinary bladder. Okay, and from urinary bladder it goes to the urethra. Okay, it's a very thin tube, and from urethra the urine comes out when we can see the urine. And this urethra is longer in male, probably about 8 inches, this tube, and it's about approximately 1.5 inches in female. So that's the urethra, and then the urine comes out. So that's the route, like how it is entering through the vascular system, getting filtered, getting concentrated, and then after it's concentrated, and then it is carrying the nitrogenous wastes and something what is in excess that comes out, and then it enters the renal pelvis, and from renal pelvis it's going to the ureter, and from ureter to bladder, urinary bladder, and from bladder to the urethra, and from urethra it comes out. So, but let's go back and talk a little bit more. I hope I'm not confusing about a nephron structure. Then we'll go to the function of the kidney's nephron structure. So nephron structure, nephron has two parts. Okay, so the first one is Bowman's. Sorry, first one is Glomerulus actually. Let me just erase it. The first one is that's not. Sorry about that. Okay, so the nephron has two parts. The first one is is glomerulus. Glomerulus, okay, and the second one is the tubule. And glomerulus, we saw, what is it? It's a tuft of capillaries. That's glomerulus. This bunch of capillaries there, which is in the Bowman's capsule. Now the tubule. Tubule is subdivided into four parts. Okay. So the first is Bowman's capsule. It's a part of the tubule. If you pay attention to the structure, is Bowman's capsule. And the second part is the proximal convoluted. We just saw the structure. Proximal convoluted tubule. And then we have distal convoluted tubule. These are the tubes, tube shaped related tubule. And then the last structure, the last structure is loop. Actually, I should have put number 3 loop of Henle according to the diagram, but it's okay. Loop of Henle. Okay, but collecting duct is not a part of nephron. Okay, it's important to remember that collecting duct is not a part of nephron. Okay, so that's basically what a nephron is. And this arterioles and veins and all that, that's the vascular network. There's a bunch of blood vessels and all that that's surrounding it for exchange of nutrients or um, water, ions and all that. So I didn't want to draw all that because it will get kind of complicated there. Okay, so now we are going to talk about, in short, the major functions of the kidney. Okay, so let's start with, as we know, urine formation, and we'll talk a little bit more about it in details. Okay, just the major thing. So urine formation, and then it maintains homeostasis, and we'll talk about it also. And then we have the third function, it again maintains osmolarity. Osmolarity. Okay, and it also helps to maintain the blood pressure. So we'd say it helps to regulate or maintain. You can use those terms. Maintain or regulate blood pressure, especially when the pressure is low. So low BP. And then we have another function. Uh, it releases a hormone. Okay, it releases a hormone, and the name of the hormone is erythropoietin. Okay, so this is, and obviously urine formation is excretion, one of the major excretory function. So these are all the functions, of kidney. Okay, so how is urine formed? It goes through mainly three different process, and the first one is, let's change the color of this. The first one is, we called it ultrafiltration. Okay, we call it ultrafiltration, and then selective reabsorption. Okay, and the third one is secretion. So this is what urine formation is, but it is not as simple as it sounds. There's more details to it, like how it is formed and all. But just in this video, I'm going just like I said, it's just an overview. Like, just if you want to know in just a snapshot, like, okay, what's happening, the major functions or structure, like that, not the detailed section. Second is homeostasis. So homeostasis, let's define what is homeostasis. I don't have room to write here the definition, but I'm going to talk about it. So homeostasis is something our body does to maintain the internal environment, maintain an adequate internal environment of our body, so bodily functions, physiological functions, so the body can work properly. So all the enzymes, metabolism, everything can uh, do their job. All the functions are done in a right way. So it is not hampered. So whenever there is a change in our internal environment, so the kidneys, they try to do something to fix that or try to regulate that. So especially, like, it maintains the water balance, pH balance. So if there's a lot of extra water in the blood, so it comes out through the urine. If there is less blood, then it reabsorbs more water, uh, the nephron, and the urine is concentrated. Plus, it does a lot of exchange of ions, which is like to maintain the pH of the blood uh, by reabsorbing or secreting the H plus ion or carbonate ion, bicarbonate ion. So that's how it maintains the homeostasis. Okay. Plus, it also eliminates the waste products, which is mainly the urea. And the osmolarity, it's what it does is there's a process called osmosis. I discussed osmosis in details in one of my previous videos. If you want to watch that, you can watch that to understand osmosis. So it regulates the water content of the blood. Okay, so it reabsorbs the water, or the water, from the nephron back to the blood, or it dilutes or concentrates. That's how it maintains the concentration. Okay, and then it also, like I mentioned, maintains and regulates blood pressure, especially when there is low blood pressure. Say there is an accident and there is a loss of blood, huge loss of blood in any hemorrhagic condition. The body loses a lot of blood, and then to try to help the body to gain the normal blood pressure, it stimulates some functions of the body by secreting an enzyme. It's called renin. Okay, so what it does, it secretes renin, and there is a, it's another topic. Uh, if I get time, I'll talk about it in some of my future videos. Renin, angiotensin aldosterone system, and how it tries to regulate the blood pressure, tries to bring it back to normal. And then the last one we're going to talk in this video is it releases a hormone which is called erythropoietin. This hormone is released when the body has less blood oxygen levels. Okay, so when decreased or less blood O2 levels, okay, say if you go in very high altitude, or people with some respiratory disease or something, there's not enough oxygen in the blood. So what it does, it releases this hormone, erythropoietin, and then what this hormone does, it stimulates it it stimulates what? It stimulates the bone marrow. Stimulates the bone marrow. And what bone marrow does? So when the bone marrow is stimulated, it's asking the bone marrow to produce more RBC, which is erythrocytes, red blood cells. Okay, so if there's more red blood cells, because then it can carry more oxygen, O2, through hemoglobin. Okay, so that's how it tries to help the body in different situations uh, to maintain a homeostatic environment. or try to regulate different mechanisms to so that our body can function appropriately. Okay, so I hope you liked this video. If you have any question, please put it in the comment section.